everyone. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Hey. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I watched Good Boy the other day and absolutely loved it. It wasn't something I was expecting, which was really, really scary and nice at the same time. But no, it was great.
Thank you so much.
So first off, Viljar, where did this story come from?
I think, for a long time I've had this image of a person in a dog costume, and wasn't really sure what the plot was gonna be. And I think, what first started was, what kind of person would own a person in a dog costume, and then the only thing that made sense would be a millionaire or somebody who didn't need to work. So that's how it started with came up with a Christian character. And then I kind of got inspired by 50 Shades of Grey, where it's about a person with kind of a dark secret, who meets a girl, and then he starts out kind of as a, I don't know, mean person, or misunderstood person, and then turns into like a softer, more he changes over the film, and I want to kind of do a twist on that. So that was kind of the two elements that kind of got the film started.
That's awesome. So Gard and Katrine, what was your first reaction to reading the script?
Yeah, you want to go first?
Yes, I can. If you want to. No, I first, when I got introduced to this project, I did the audition. I had a romantic scene, so I of course thought it was a romantic comedy. And when I got to the second round, I got to read the whole script, and I was pleasantly shocked that it had a twist. And I think it just was very intriguing because it shows how dedicated and creative Viljar is, and how much space it was for playing and exploring this character in a different way than I first thought it. And yeah, it was just really intriguing and nice to have a big project that was something else, something I hadn't seen before. So, yeah.
Yeah. Reading the full script. The audition process was really fun as well. I remember for one of my auditions, I had to have a baseball bat and scream at an imaginary Frank. And it was a pepper. What's it called? The pepper.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was huge, like the pepper, and I stood with it, and I remember screaming. I had so much fun reading and discovering what the script was about, and I think after doing a double and triple take of the twists and turns that Viljar represented in the script, my head exploded with ideas. And I always find myself when I walk, when I shower, when I make food, when I do things, if my head wanders to something, to a script or a character, I need to do it. So that happened in this situation, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So that was a really positive thing. And Viljar is amazing. He is crazy in the good ways. Very open-minded and exploring and trusting. So I had a really good experience.
That's awesome. So then, Gard, did you know that it was going to be like a horror thriller from the start, or were you under a different genre like Katrine was?
At the first audition, I was under a different genre. I understood at the second or the callback that this was something different. Also, in the first audition, when I did the first audition, it was something else, because I did this kind of romantic scene in bed, and Viljar had also told me that this character has a dog, which is a human in a costume, and that made my mind. I remember saying to my friend, which helped me film this, "Can you help me understand this? Has he typed something wrong, or what is this? What does this mean?" Because I didn't. Viljar like puts out pieces in a huge puzzle that suddenly comes forward, but yeah, it was like a puzzle that I had fun with.
That's really cool. So then Viljar, did you have any say in like the audition process? Like, why did they audition thinking it was a different genre and then finding out later that Good Boy is what it is?
Yeah, so I'm not. Yeah, so when we first gave the casting call, I think the only information we gave was, you know, age and the type of person that we wanted. And the reason why I didn't want to give too much away is that when they first read the whole script, they didn't know too much, so that they would have a similar reaction to an audience member, so they could like experience it properly. So that's why I didn't give too much information. And you know, at that time, not a lot of people had, you know, read the script, so they were kind of, you know, test subjects to see if this was an exciting story or not. And you know, by I could kind of tell by their reaction that, you know, we kind of had something there, because they seemed very eager to, and also they had ideas themselves about how we could perhaps, you know, flesh out the characters and stuff like that. So they had, after we put them, casted them, they also had a big part in developing the script, gearing up for the filming.
That's really cool. So then for all three of you, what was it like working with an actor who had to portray a dog the entire time?
So we had one actor who is kind of the man in the costume, without giving too much away, who did the voice and stuff. But we only had him for 4 days. So what we had to do was the costume designer and the producer of the film, Marie, had to be in the costume for most of the first half of the film. And it can be very dehumanizing being in that costume, both for, you know, the person in the costume, you know, you're on for all four, and also when you're talking to the dog, or you know, directing the dog, you kind of forget that it is a person inside the costume. You kind of pretty easily and fast kind of get used to this dog. So that was kind of weird. So we kind of make sure that the person in dog costume didn't spend too much time at the time, that we shot it in short increments, so the person didn't have to be in a dog costume and on all fours for too long.
Yeah, and I think for me, the thing I said the most during the days of our shoot was, "Are you okay?" To the two people that played the dog. It must have been, I mean, super uncomfortable, and it's a really hard role to play. So all honor to the two people that did that. Yeah, it's important to establish some kind of communication and trust in that situation. We want people to have fun during shoots. We want people to feel the best they can. So
yeah, it was really interesting also, because as Viljar also mentioned, it's very interesting how quickly the mind just accept that this is a new reality in a way. So it was, I think it was for all of us very important that we knew that the person inside was all right, because at some point you kind of forget that there's a person. But at the same time, it was really weird, like patting it on the head and like connecting to it as it as if it was a dog is, yeah, it was quite fascinating because it's crazy how many weird things you get to do as an actress. So yeah, fun but weird.
Nice, nice. So ultimately the film is about a really weird dating experience. So I was wondering, what's the weirdest date you've ever been on?
Woo!
Um,
These questions. um, yeah, I'll let you guys go first. I have to think about it.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good question. I'm not sure. Yeah, Katrine, Louise, do you have any good stories?
well, I do have a story, which is it's kind of, well, I connected with a guy on Tinder, and he was very cute, and we decided to meet. And I, when I met him, he was really cute, but at the same time, I knew that something is not what I thought it was. And just in a couple of minutes, I get information about that he is, what do you call it, a narcoman.
Ah,
Drug addict.
Yeah, and that he, but under a year ago, had died for the second time of his life. So it was like really, really open, and I ended up sitting there for 6 hours talking with this really nice guy, telling me like all about how it was and what life he had given up in with all this drug addiction, and then getting to connect with his mother. So it was kind of nice, but at the same time, not what I expected at all.
It looks like
I
you
thought you were
want
gonna.
to.
Oh,
Do you
I
want
just
to
said
speak?
it. It zooms. It's so hard to. No, I was just gonna say. I thought you were gonna say it was super nice, but then it turned out he had a dog in a person in a dog costume. I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna do the retelling of the film, which I thought would be very funny. I actually don't have any fun dating stories. Ironically enough, I haven't done a lot of dating. Well, yeah, I don't, especially now that I live with someone, but maybe that's why I made this, because dating sounds very scary. So perhaps that's like I made like the worst scenario I could think of with the film.
Yeah, I'm thinking I've had a lot of weird dates. I think one of the weirdest ones was a girl that I met, which was quiet for 3 hours, and me just trying to be polite about, trying to get a conversation out of her. And then at the end, she wanted me to pay for our coffees. And that was weird. I did it. And then the one thing she said was, well, when are we meeting next time? And I said, maybe next Tuesday. And then she sent me a message next Monday, and then I was the one who didn't answer. So yeah, it was a really weird experience.
Well, I'm glad none of them were as weird as Christian. So that's always a good thing. All right, my final question for the three of you is, what's one thing that you're really excited for people to see when they watch this movie?
They're friends. Bring your friends. I want you to see the movie and the reactions of your friends. No, I'm kidding. I think the scenes that comes towards the end oh, it's hard. It's really hard. But some scenes towards the end, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I think you should look forward to how this movie evolves.
Mm. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's you know, the things that I want the people to see are the stuff I don't want to talk about. So it's kind of a
Makes it hard.
weird thing there. Yeah, so it's, but I think, you know, but it's fun how you say bring your friends. It's definitely a film to watch with different people. Not as much to come together, but I think it will end up splitting people by the end of. People will have different reactions, and I think it can be a fun film for people to have different reactions and discuss, and both out of love and hate for the film. I think but I think there'll be a reaction nonetheless.
Sure. Is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I just agree with these guys. Just watch it, be open-minded, and enjoy.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you for chatting with me. Again, I love the movie, and I agree with everything that you said in your last answers. So again, thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.